Our relationship with technology, it's complicated, right? So today, instead of just looking at stats and data, we're going to do something different. We're going to explore this whole thing through the lives of two very different people. By understanding how they see the digital world, we might just learn something new about ourselves along the way. So right off the bat, before we even really meet them, I've got a question for you. Jussie or Sana? Just keep those names in your head. As we get into their stories, think about which one you find yourself nodding along with more. It's really the key question we'll be coming back to.
Okay, so our story technically starts in Finland, but let's be real. The language of our digital age is totally universal. Words like tekoäly for artificial intelligence or digitalainen detox, a digital detox. These are part of a global conversation now. And these are the big ideas that really shape the world for both Jussi and Sana.
First up, let's meet Jussie. We're calling him the enthusiast. And for him, the digital world isn't just a useful tool, it's everything. It's the very fabric of how we connect and move forward. Jussie is 24, and to say he's passionate about technology, well, that's a bit of an understatement. He absolutely loves new digital innovations more than anything else. He's not just some casual user, he's a true believer in the power of what's coming next. Wow, you can really just feel the excitement in his words here, can't you? For Jussie, being on that cutting edge, it's not about showing off. It's about tapping into life's most inspiring moments. For him, this is where the action is. So what does that passion look like? Well, it's pretty broad. He is completely fascinated by how AI could solve some of the world's biggest problems. He loves getting lost in the immersive worlds of VR, and he sees social media as basically the best way to connect with people and share ideas across the entire globe. Seriously, if it's new, Jussie is all over it. And this really gets to the heart of it for Jussie. Technology isn't just a hobby, it's his identity. He gets that some people worry about the risks, but for him, that feeling of connection is something you just have to experience to understand. It's how he belongs. All right, now let's completely switch gears and meet Sana. If Jussi is way over on one end of the spectrum, Sana is on the other. We're calling her the balancer, and her whole philosophy is built around a completely different idea. Sana is 35, and she has, well, never really been an enthusiastic user of technology or social media. Instead of chasing the latest update, she finds her joy in much calmer activities, things that really bring her peace of mind. And that is just such a direct contrast to Jussi's excitement, isn't it? Sana finds that constant need to be connected on social media to be absolutely exhausting. For her, being on all the time is pretty much the exact opposite of enjoyable. And that brings us to the central pillar of her life, conscious presence. This is her alternative to Jussie's constant connection. It's all about being fully in the moment, without a screen getting in the middle of the experience. She values her privacy and her peace way too much to trade it for a little convenience. And this is what conscious presence actually looks like in practice. Just notice how tangible and, well, analog all of these are. An evening walk, without a phone. The actual feel of a paper book, deep, face-to-face conversations. For Sana, fulfillment is found right here, in the real physical world. And there it is, her philosophy all summed up. While Jussi finds his inspiration in the new and the next, Sana finds hers in the quiet and the simple. She really believes that a good life is all about balance and finding real joy in those small, everyday moments. So we've met the enthusiast and we've met the balancer. Now let's put their philosophies right next to each other and see how they stack up in this digital world that we all share. Wow, when you see it laid out like this, the contrast is just so stark. Their source of joy, new tech versus quiet moments. Their view on AI, Jussi sees a problem solver, while Sana sees something that feels, well, way too fast. And social media, for him, it's the best way to connect. For her, it's the most exhausting thing you can do. And finally, privacy. A top priority for Sana, but kind of a secondary thought for Jussi. They even define the whole idea of community in fundamentally different ways. For Jussi, community is a global, digital movement. But for Sana, it's the people who are right there in front of her, sharing a real conversation without any screens. It's funny. They're both looking for connection, just in completely different places. So, after exploring these two very different lives, the question really turns back to us, doesn't it? We've seen the enthusiast, we've seen the balancer, so where do we fit on this spectrum? What's really clear here is that there's no single right way to live in our digital world. Jussi finds all this inspiration and connection. Sana finds peace and presence. Neither path is better than the other. They're just different ways of finding what makes you feel fulfilled. And that brings us right back to that very first question. Are you more of a Jussi, always chasing the next innovation, or are you more of a Sana, carefully protecting your peace? Or maybe, like most of us, you're somewhere in the middle. Perhaps the real takeaway isn't about picking a side, but just about making a conscious choice in the first place.